I managed to get a few things sewn up in January and I've got lots of favourite things to share with you, so stay tuned to find out what they are. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tamlyn and this is Sewn on the Tyne, and I'm here today to talk you through the things I got sewn up in January and a few of my favourite things. Just before we get started, I'm wearing the Paper Cut Patterns Fjord cardigan. I sewed this up a couple of years ago for the Lamazi Fabrics blog. It's made using See You at 6 French Terry, and the blog post will still be on their website, I think, if you want to check it out. And in the background there is the Dirando Neige sweater, which I've been working on. I've actually filmed that as a sew along, so that either will be up already on my channel or will be the next video to come up after this one. So I managed to get 5 things sewn up in January and I'll talk you through each of those. The first thing that I made, and actually probably my favourite thing that I made in January, was the Friday Pattern Company Sagebrush top. This has caught the sewing community by storm. It has been so popular, and it's something that I didn't really fancy for quite a while, but then something just switched in my brain and I thought, actually, I really like that. I love the puffy sleeves, I love the gathered ruffle along the front, I love the bias bound neckline and the way it ties at the back with a little bow. I just started to see lots of lovely versions and I thought, actually, I'm going to give that a go. So Liz from The Baker That Sews very kindly sent me the pattern as a gift. She had a spare copy, so thank you Liz for that. And I decided to sew it up in a viscose fabric that I'd had in my stash for quite a while that I purchased from Sewistfaction. It's a Lady McElroy viscose. So as with all of the Friday Pattern Company patterns, their size range is really great. So they range from an extra small up to a 7X. Just going to read them from the sizes from here for you. So an extra small is a 32 to 33 inch bust, 24 to 25 inch waist, and a 34 to 35 inch hip. And then the 7X is a 59 to 60 inch bust, a 52 to 53 inch waist, and a 62 to 63 inch hip. Now, the different makes that I'll talk about in this video, my size has actually changed throughout this month. My measurements have changed. So I'm not going to give you my specific measurements just yet until they sort of settle down a little bit and I'm at a more consistent size. But my size at the time of making the Sagebrush top put me in a size large at the bust and the waist and a size extra large at the hip. So that's what I did. I just graded from a large on the top and the waist down to an extra large on the hip. It's a really straightforward thing to do. You just draw a line that blends from the large to the extra large line. I really enjoyed making this up. It was a really satisfying sew. The instructions are great and I love the finished garment. It's quite a soft fabric, so it gives a lovely soft feel to the top rather than a really structured, exaggerated puff sleeve. It's quite a soft look. I know I've said soft quite a few times now, but that's what it is. I'm really happy with it and I already want to make a couple more. I've got fabrics ready for them, so they'll be coming up soon, hopefully. I don't know why it took me so long to join the Sagebrush fan club, but I'm a fully fledged member now. The next thing I got sewn up in January was one of the most frustrating projects I've worked on in quite some time, just because lots of things went wrong. Now, I can't talk to you about every single thing in this video because this is a blog project for the rag shop. So the fabric that I chose was then provided for me by Steph from the rag shop in order for me to do the blog post. And I've sent my blog post over now and the photos. They haven't been shared on the website at this moment. Maybe they will have by the time this goes out. If so, I will link to it down below. But I decided to make the Am Patterns Irma shirt. When this was first released, I just loved everything about it. I loved the styling in the photos. I loved the different details to the blouse and the dress. So both the dress and the shirt version have some standard shirt features like a concealed button placket and a shirt collar. But then depending on which version you make, you can either have straight sleeves with a standard cuff, or you can have balloon sleeves gathered into a cuff. The hem of the dress has a really exaggerated high-low effect, and then the shirt has a more subtle high-low effect, but it is longer at the back than it is at the front. The I Am Irma comes in size 34 up to 52 in the PDF, or 36 up to 46 in the paper copy. So size 34 is a 30 3/4 inch bust, a 22 7/8 waist, and a 33 inch hip, and the size 52 is a 44 7/8 bust, a 37 inch waist, and a 47 1/4 hip. So I made the size 44 all over because that's where my measurements lay at the time, and I am really happy with the finished garment. As I said earlier, it was quite a roller coaster, and I will go into all the details in my blog post about why it was such a roller coaster. So I made a few mistakes throughout this, but there were also some tricky elements that I struggled with, and it just was one of those makes where lots of things went wrong, but I did persevere and I got a really beautiful garment out of it in the end, so I am really happy with it. But at times when I was making it, I did actually question whether I can sew. It was just one of those makes that was a bit of a head scratcher at times, but I'll link to the rag shop down below and you can go and read all the details about that blog post when it goes live. I would say if you have not made a shirt before, perhaps this is not the garment for you to start your shirt making journey on. It did assume some knowledge of certain techniques that I didn't have because I've made one shirt before and it didn't have a concealed button placket. So I think it was maybe a little bit challenging, and the fabric I used was quite fine and delicate. So it was just a bit of a challenging make, but as I say, I've got a lovely garment at the end of it, and it's good to be challenged, and that's how we improve. So there we go. I am also making the dress version of the Irma, and it's nearly finished, but I haven't quite finished it yet. I just need to sew the buttons on and hem it, so that will come in a future makes video. The next thing I got sewn up was another blog project, this time for Felicity Fabrics, and it was the Lunar pajamas. I haven't sewn many sew over it patterns before, but this one really caught my eye because I love pajamas and loungewear, but also this has a wrap front, and that's ideal for me because I am breastfeeding my son, so I thought this would be perfect. The fabric I chose for this was from Felicity Fabrics. They provided me with this fabric in exchange for the blog post, and it's a Lady McElroy viscose challis lawn. It's got a black background and then these abstract faces all over, which I just thought had quite a classic look. I thought I'd look quite chic, but also it's quite unusual at the same time because the faces are so abstract, and I just really like the print. So the Lunar pajamas comes in sizes 6 to 30. Size 6 is a 31 inch bust, 24 inch waist and a 34 inch hip. And the size 30 is a 57 inch bust, a 50 inch waist and a 60 inch hip. The instructions for these are fantastic. There's actually a sew along on the Sew Over It YouTube channel as well, which I didn't follow, but that would be great if you did want to make these PJs. The trousers are just an elasticated waist trouser, but they have no outer leg seam, so they're quite unusual in that sense. It did mean I needed a lot of space to cut these out because the leg piece is such a large piece and only one would fit on the width of the fabric, so I had to cut them out on a single layer as well. So I did need quite a lot of space. As I said, the top is a wrap and it has a tie that feeds through a hole in the waistline, and then you can tie it around either at the side or at the back. You can tie it around twice because the ties are quite long. I really enjoyed sewing these up. As I said, the instructions are really clear and they're a really straightforward make, so they're ideal for beginners. The fabric I used was quite delicate. It's a printed design, so the reverse is white and therefore it is prone to snagging a little bit. I did everything I could to try and prevent that, so I used a fresh Microtex size 60 needle and I tried to avoid using pins wherever I could. I still did end up with some snags in the fabric, just in random places, but actually they blend in quite well with the design of the print, so you can't really see. Again, I'll link to the Felicity Fabrics website down below so you can go over and read my blog post when it goes live. Oh, and sizing for that one, I made a size 12 at the bust and then I graded to a 14 at the waist and the hip. The next thing I got sewn up was just a really quick project as a birthday present for a friend's baby. It was her first birthday in January, so I made her the pansy dress by Poppy and Jazz, which is just a really quick, straightforward sew for knit fabrics. It's just got long sleeves, a little bodice, and then a gathered skirt, and it didn't take much time at all, and it made a really lovely gift. I made it in some French terry from First Fabrics that I had as a remnant, and I sort of wish it was in my size because it's so cute. But if you were looking for a gift to make for a little girl, then this is an ideal garment to sew. And the last thing I got sewn up in January was a blog for the Minerva website, and I made the Serenity sweater. Now when you see the pictures, you'll probably think, I remember this fabric, and weren't you going to make a dress? And yes, I was. I was going to make the Friday Pattern Company Westcliff dress with this fabric because it's a viscose jersey and it's perfect for that dress pattern. However, because of COVID and our lifestyle over the past year really, I haven't got anywhere to wear a dress anytime soon, so I thought I should probably make something that I'll get more wear out of. I spotted this pattern via the Love Notions $5 Feature Friday sale that they do. So every Friday they feature a pattern and I have it on sale for only $5. So I spotted this. It's just a knit top with a wrap over front, and I just thought it would be really great for around the house. Again, perfect for breastfeeding and just super comfortable. So I did buy that and I sewed it up. Took no time at all really. I added the hemband at the bottom, which is an extra add-on that you can get from the Love Notions website, and that's free. I also changed it slightly by adding cuffs. So I got to the point of hemming the sleeves and decided I didn't really like the look of it and I'd prefer cuffs. So all I did was chop some off, an equal amount off each sleeve. I then turned it inside out and I straightened up the seam because obviously it was on a diagonal because it was going from wider to narrower as it got towards the wrist. So I just drew a straight line down so it was parallel with the folded edge, if that makes sense. So then I had a rectangle that I could just fold wrong sides together and that would create my cuff, and then I just sewed it on each sleeve, and I'm much happier with that look. I did decide to add poppers. It does suggest you could add poppers or buttons because the wrap at the front hangs really loose. You could wear a vest top underneath or do what I did and add some poppers because I just thought I'd probably get more wear out of it that way. That blog post is up on the Minerva website now actually. Just in terms of sizing for the Serenity sweater, it goes from an extra small to a 5X. The extra small is 33-inch bust, 26.5-inch waist and 35.5-inch hip. The 5X is 57.5-inch bust, 49.5-inch waist and 59.5-inch hip. I made the size medium at the bust and the waist, and I graded to a size large at the hip. So that's everything I got sewn up in January. I'm really happy with the things that I did make. I've enjoyed keeping track of my makes in my bullet journal. It's just helped me to be a little bit more focused, I think. So I've got a few plans for February. Hopefully I'll be able to bring you a makes video at the end of February to show you a few things that I've got sewn up then. Right, some things I've been loving in this month. First of all, a TV show, and it's on Netflix and it's called Virgin River. It's absolutely fantastic. There are 2 series and I binge watched them in the space of a few days. The very first episode shows you a lady who moves from LA to Virgin River, which is a very rural town. She moves there to be a nurse and to help out at the local doctor's surgery. But you then start to hear elements of her life and why she's made that switch and all of the things that she's been through, and there's a lot of drama, and then every new character that is in Virgin River as well has their own story, and it's just fantastic. It's really addictive and I loved it. My mum's watching it as well and she's also loving it. And there's a character in there called Jack. He runs the bar, Jack's Bar, in Virgin River, and he's rather dishy. Me and my mum both think he's rather handsome. So yes, I would highly recommend Virgin River if you haven't watched it yet. A couple of random food bits that I thought I'd mention. Sam and I have been using this book for some recipes and meal ideas in January because we were on a little bit of a health kick. But one thing that I've really been loving is the smoothies in here. So we have a smoothie for breakfast every day now. This book has 5 smoothie recipes in and they're really delicious. We use 4 of them and just rotate between those 4 recipes. My favourite one is a chai spiced banana smoothie. It's absolutely delicious. It's got almond milk, banana, cinnamon, ginger, dates. I think that might be it, but it's just absolutely delicious. I love a chai latte anyway, so I love those chai flavours. So chai spiced banana smoothie is just right up my street. The other food thing to mention, I do like my food by the way, is Graze. I used to subscribe to Graze quite a few years ago now. They are letterbox snack providers basically. So I used to get these years ago and then I stopped getting them, but recently when we've been on that little health kick I just felt like I needed some snacks that I could have during the day. Sam doesn't really tend to snack, he has his 3 meals and he's happy with that. I need snacks in between and I was struggling a bit with what to have, so I thought of Graze and I subscribed again. So I've decided to go for a fortnightly box, and you get this through your letterbox. And then inside you have 4 snacks. Now when you sign up, there is a list of every snack that they do and you can rate that snack. So whether you love it or you love the look of it, whether you just like it or whether you want to bin it completely, and that will indicate to Graze whether they'll send it to you at all, they'll send it to you sometimes, or they'll send it to you often. So the things that I've got, I guess, in here are things that I must have said I loved or I would like. So I've got Dark Chocky Wonders Almond and Coconut, which looks delicious. A wonderful mix of dark chocolate, milk chocolate coated peas, blanched almonds and coconut flakes. Dark Chocky Wonders again, you'll sense a theme here. Banana and peanut this time. A wonderful mix of dark chocolate, chewy banana coins, cocoa dusted almonds and baked salted peanuts. Dark chocolate and cherry tart. Belgian dark chocolate, cherries, pecans and Chilean flame raisins. And then this one, peanut butter protein power. So you've got peanut butter with salted pretzel sticks. So I just love getting that through the post. As I say, I get it once a fortnight. You can get it weekly if you prefer. And I think it's £4.49 per box. But when you first sign up, there's always an offer on to get your first box free or something like that. But I actually have, they send through referral codes that I can offer to anyone basically. So you can get your 1st, your 5th and your 10th box for free if you use my referral code. So that's really good. So the code is Tamlyn5JB. We'll put that up on the screen and we'll leave it down below. And you can, like I say, you can get your free box for your 1st one, your 5th one and your 10th one, and you just pay for the ones in between. And I think I might get one of my boxes for free if you sign up, so that will be really lovely, thank you. But yes, I would recommend Graze just for lovely snacks to have. Who doesn't need snacks? Another thing I've been loving is food again, but this time it's not for me, it's for Taylor. So Taylor turned 6 months on the 15th of January, but we decided to start weaning him on the 1st of January, and we started off for the first couple of weeks with just single taste vegetables, and then we moved on to fruit. So we started off with more of the bitter savoury tastes like broccoli, asparagus, aubergine, green beans, that sort of thing. And we started off with puree, but also giving him the vegetable as well. So for example, on day 1 we gave him some broccoli puree and then some steamed broccoli, which was steamed so it was really soft. After 2 or 3 days, well, probably more, after a few days it became apparent that Taylor just wanted to feed himself. He didn't want the puree, he just wanted the finger food. So we've ditched the puree completely and he just has finger food every day now. So I shared these books that I got a while ago. I think in my birthday and Christmas gifts video, I shared these books that I got. You can see I've marked all the recipes I want to do. And I've been cooking every day for Taylor from these. So I'm making breakfast and lunch at the moment. We'll move on to having an evening meal as well within the next few weeks, I would say. But it's great. The recipes in here are great. And the concept is that you eat the same as your baby. So myself and Taylor will have the same for breakfast every day. Sam's usually working, so he only has breakfast with us on a weekend. Then the three of us will have lunch together. So we'll have things again from these books. And the three of us will eat together, and it's really lovely. So I've just been loving eating with Taylor. It's been fantastic just seeing him enjoy his food. He really enjoys his food. Hopefully you'll have seen some photos of him here. It's just really lovely to see. His absolute favourite food is cucumber. No matter what else we give him, cucumber is his favourite food, which is great. I love cucumber too, but it's lovely that he loves it so much. I gave him, we had crumpets and peanut butter over the last couple of days, because it's good to introduce the allergens quite early so you can find out if your baby is allergic. So peanut butter was something that I wanted to introduce quite soon, and he absolutely loved it, which is great. I also love peanut butter. So anyway, enough about that. I would highly recommend these books if you are a parent and want to cook for your baby. I would recommend them. Right, 2 more things to share and then I'm going to leave. So we all need a bit of relaxation and self-care in our lives, and one thing I love to do to relax is to light a candle. I discovered a lovely candle company called Albion Candle Company, and I discovered them through Brown Paper Festival. So on Instagram, Megan has started a business called Brown Paper Festival. Brown Paper Festival is basically a virtual market, so we can't go to craft fairs or markets of any kind because of COVID. So Megan has started these monthly markets where she draws together lots of lovely small businesses and hosts a virtual market basically. So I discovered Albion Candle Company, and they make natural soy candles. I bought, when did I buy them? I think I bought some from them before Christmas. So they do a flight of candles where you can get 5 smaller candles in a flight. So I got that before Christmas and then used all of those up. And then recently they had a special discount on 10 or 15% off, so I decided to treat myself to some new candles, and these are the ones I got. So I love the little jars that they come in, they're really lovely. So this is Autumnal Latte, and it smells amazing. Caramel, ginger and nutmeg, and this one's got a 30-hour burn time. So good. Then their latest range is all inspired by Japan. So this is a posy from Kyoto, and it's jasmine, patchouli, and geranium. And yeah, so good. And then this is bamboo shoots, which is bamboo, coconut and sandalwood. Again, just so good. I do think it's worth paying a little bit more for candles, because when you get really cheap ones, they don't burn down properly, they burn really unevenly, and they sometimes don't actually let off a very good scent, whereas these ones really do. They really fill the room and they're just, they're delicious. These smaller ones have a 20-hour burn time. So I will link to Albion Candle Company down below, and I would encourage you to go and check them out because, like I say, I really love their aesthetic, their branding, their website, everything. I really love their flights of candles that they do. They're ideal for treating yourself or for treating somebody else. They've actually released a Valentine's candle, and I have sent that message to Sam maybe 3 times now. Every time Albion Candle Company mention the Valentine's candle on their Instagram, I forward it on to Sam, so I'm hoping he might have taken the hint by now. Fingers crossed. And the last thing before I go is sewing related, yay! A few videos ago I mentioned as a favourite Laura from the Specky Seamstress, who had set up her own bias binding business. At that time I don't actually think I'd received or ordered any of the bias binding. I'd supported her on her crowdfunding campaign, but I hadn't then received the product at that point. I've now received it and I've made some other orders, so I thought I'd just share it with you. I really love all of the designs, they're just so fun, and Laura's absolutely smashing it. I mean, what a great idea, but she's also just done amazingly. I know at the start Laura intended that this bias binding would actually be made by a company, so it would be outsourced. But then I don't think she was happy with the product, so Laura's ended up making it all herself. So she gets the printed fabric, but then she makes all of the bias binding herself, which is incredible. Well done, Laura. So this one says Sewing Appreciation Society. Laura actually sent this to me as a gift right at the start, just to send me a sample to see what I thought. But you can buy that design. Then this one is made using fabric from wattle and slate. It's called wonky fabric because it's fabric that had a slight flaw and couldn't be sold just as fabric, but Laura has created bias binding out of it. So I love that one. I've used that one on the hem of some trousers. Then the 5 designs that I got in the crowdfunder are these. So we've got dinosaurs, planets, You Are a Superstar, Sewing Appreciation Society again, and then Made to Measure. So I love all of those. And then I placed an order last week to get this amazing daisy bias binding, and also got this tape measure and this Stitched with Love one. They're just really lovely and they're so soft. The fabric they're printed on is really soft. So a lot of the bias tape you can buy from shops is quite stiff and doesn't provide you with a nice soft binding for your neckline or for your hem, whereas these ones really do. Laura has also done a video tutorial on her YouTube channel, which I'll link, and it teaches you and shows you how to bias bind a neckline. So that's really useful. I'll link to Laura's website, and she ships worldwide, so you can treat yourself to some of this amazing bias binding too. Right, wow, that was a long one. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope you've enjoyed seeing everything that I sewed up in January and the things that I really loved. Please let me know down below which of those makes was your favourite, and if any of my favourite things are also favourites of yours. I'd love to hear from you. If you don't already subscribe to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would love you to join us here. And remember, if you give this video a like, it does really help me and it helps YouTube to notice my video and to promote it to new people. So if you hit that like button, it does really help me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Happy sewing, bye. And a 34 to 5. I don't know why it took me so long to join I love the look. So you can make it as a standard shirt style with the sleeves and the cuffs, and or you can have balloon sleeves into a gathered into a cuff. Into it. And then the shirt hem. Oh, why can't I talk today? Oh. The I Am Irma comes in sizes 34 up to 56 in the PDF version. No, it doesn't.